Good morning. Today's July 1st, 2021, and today I'm going to talk about federal indictments, federal criminal complaints, and federal informations and how this kind of all ties together. Okay? So, you're out there and you are committing crimes. You know what I'm talking about. A lot of you people are out there doing shit you're not supposed to be doing. And somebody rats you out, generally is what happens. I think a lot of us have been through that where we had informants set us up or induce us to commit crimes. Some people just like to commit crimes. I personally, in my crime, I was set up, but I knew what I was doing, and I enjoyed criminal activity. But that's not what I'm here to talk about today. That's for a different video. Okay, so the FBI is investigating you. And they determine that there's enough information out there on you that you've committed enough criminal activities, and then what's going to happen is it's going to go over to the U.S. Attorney's Office. That's our friends on the upper left. U.S. Attorney will take it to a grand jury. Grand jury will then issue an indictment. Before you know it, you got our friends there on the lower left. The FBI is investigating again. They're going to come out and they're going to do a warrant. And when they do their warrant, they're going to come out and arrest you. And used to be that they would take it to the grand jury essentially for an indictment. And now kind of what they're doing is something a little different. Let's say they don't come out and arrest you. Well, what they're going to do is an information. An information is like an indictment, but it doesn't go to the grand jury. And it means that you've kind of approved of the charges, not that you really have to approve, because they're going to get you one way or another. So they're doing something that started, I want to say, over the last 10 years or something. They'll send a target letter. The FBI or the U.S. Attorney's Office will send a target letter to the prospective defendant saying, "We believe that you've committed a crime. You need to contact a lawyer and have your lawyer contact us." And then what they'll do is they'll issue you a blank plea agreement outlining what your charges are and what they feel that they could essentially get you convicted of. And they want you to sign a plea agreement and sign an information kind of like all at the same time. They aren't going to load you down with discovery at this point because you haven't been charged, so they don't have to give you discovery. There's no case number in the U.S. court system. You're still under investigation, and there's probably a criminal complaint out there on you, although they may not have released it yet or filed it yet, because criminal complaints a lot of times prior to an indictment or charges being filed, they've got some funky number on them. So let's say that you agree to the charges, you sign a plea, you go into court, you do a change of plea. You know, you're going to plead guilty. That's the easy way. But let's jump back to the indictment, all right? They got enough evidence on you. The U.S. Attorney takes it to the grand jury, which is a group of citizens. They meet in secret. They call it a grand jury, although it's really not a jury. So they meet in secret, and the prosecutor then brings in people. Could be the FBI, Homeland Security, whoever it is. They're going to bring them in, and they're going to give testimony against you as far as what your crimes are. And they could even bring in people you know to question them, and they kind of put everybody under seal, telling them you cannot discuss this with anybody. That's the point. The grand jury signs something called a true bill. They return that to the prosecutor. The prosecutor then brings this to the U.S. District Court judge or a magistrate judge. The difference is the U.S. District Court judges are the ones that really hear trials and such. They're appointed for life, ratified by the Senate and such. The president appoints them. And they have to do felony trials and handle all matters. Now, a magistrate judge is appointed for a 10-year period, and they get paid about 85% of what a U.S. district judge makes. Anyway, the prosecutor then takes that warrant, or takes the grand jury bill, the indictment, over to the court, and they get an arrest warrant issued. And now that's when the fun starts, where the feds come out and they knock your door down. They like to come out early in the morning. They like to catch people off guard. They like to catch you in your skivvies when you're half asleep and you're disoriented. So the feds make a surprise visit to you and they hit you with this indictment. And there's count 1, count 2, count 3, count 4. Hell, they've got your kids thrown in there. They've got your wife thrown in there. They got everybody thrown in there. Now, the likelihood of them getting an indictment or a conviction against everybody, it's like pretty fucking slim. It is. I don't see that happening, but they're going to do a squeeze play. And they're going to say, well, unless you cooperate with us, unless you plead guilty, we're going to go after your family members. So they've got all these counts listed on the indictment. But that's really a crock of horse shit, all right? I want you to visualize this. I've got a shovel full of horse shit, okay? And what I'm going to do is I'm going to hold it up to a barnyard wall. And I'm going to throw the switch and I'm going to turn on a fan. All that shit's going to fly onto the wall. Well, those are the federal charges that they've come up with on you. And eventually some of that shit's going to drop off. Some of it will stick. Well, those are like federal charges in an indictment. They know a lot of that stuff that they're charging you with that they really can't convict you on, but they just want to pressure you to take the indictment, agree to the charges, and plea out. And they're doing this by inducing the fact that, well, we're not going to go after your family members. The agents that you talk to, and I'll really cover this in depth in another video, but the FBI, Homeland Security, Secret Service, whoever it is, DEA, they're the ones that investigate, but they're not the decision makers. So if they tell you, well, we're going to drop the charges, we're going to do this or that, they're full of shit. It's the U.S. attorneys, it's the federal prosecutors that do this. And there's 98 federal districts in the United States. And each state sometimes is divided up into 4 districts. Like I'm in California. I'm in the Central District. There's 3 other districts. You take a state like Arizona, there's only 1 district. Anyway, these agents will try to manipulate you, lie to you, tell you all kinds of nonsense, but they're not the decision maker. They've got about as much ability to decide not to prosecute you as a hair on the back of my ass. It's all up to the prosecutor. It's all up to the U.S. Attorney's Office. We're going to cover more of this in a later video. I want to thank you for listening. Remember, if you're in trouble and you need help, contact me at Wall Street Prison Consultants, 855-5-PRISON. You're a woman who needs help. Contact us. Hell, you can call the same number, 855-5-PRISON. We have pinkladyprisonconsultants.com. wallstreetprisonconsultants.com, pinkladyprisonconsultants.com. All right, it's 4th of July weekend, and I want to remind everybody to have a safe and healthy weekend. We'll be right back with you, I don't know, in the next day or so. Take care.